Anyways, how are you doing today, Kat?
I'm doing really well. Um,
Really well. Wow, that's really good.
my nephew's out for a bike ride, so that was a lot of fun.
In this wind?
Sorry?
In this wind?
Yeah. Well, we live in a neighborhood where the houses help to block the wind, so it wasn't too windy for us actually.
That's really good.
So
Yeah, this has been unseasonable spring weather. So it's a good, I guess it's kind of like, I guess in a very, very dark and twisted way, a blessing that we're all kind of forced to stay indoors a little bit more because it's been such a cold and windy, like even looking at this upcoming week, like average of 20 to 30 kilometer per hour winds are expected for the
mhm.
next few days.
Wow, that's a lot of wind.
It's a lot of wind.
I'm glad we won't be playing outside in that kind of wind.
Yeah, actually, at the time of recording, I've started to receive emails about the situation from Footy Seven. So it's going to be interesting to see when we actually get back on the field. But I think we're not going to get back till July or August.
I hope not later than July. I would like to get back in before my keeper skills become too rusty, and that
So
wouldn't be a good thing.
that actually raises a really good question because you're a pretty functional goalkeeper. Like, do you prefer keeper or do you prefer playing defender or
Um,
fielder? Sorry.
It depends on the team at times.
Okay.
I played like when I was playing girls soccer growing up, like the last 4 years when I really started to get into keeper. I
Mm,
played on some okay teams, and I played on one team that sticks out really particularly. My defenders were blocking me, so the team scored 11 goals against us, or 8, still a pretty high number, because my defenders would, instead of hanging up at like the middle line to keep them offside, they would sit low in the field and block me on corner shots when they're supposed to be marking up a player. They wouldn't. So like teams like that, when they're not doing their jobs and they're just affect like causing me to do my job very poorly, that's when I don't want to play keeper. But when I have a strong team that knows what they're supposed to do, like there have been plays with like Jamie or Nathan or some of the other guys that if I rebound a shot out, they're there to get my back, and they'll get the rebound and they'll block it. They'll send it up the field before another player can get it. So
right.
like times like that, I really enjoy playing keeper because I know there are players on the team that got my back, and they'll get the rebound shot, or if I make a mistake, they're there for me.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's some teams that I just love to play defense or midfield. On rare occasions, I don't mind playing striker, but I feel like that's more of a hindrance towards the team because I'm staying in the middle of the field like, guys, where do I go?
I don't think I've actually ever seen you play striker, so that's very
That's not
interesting.
true, Sam. You have told me to play striker once or twice.
I mean, okay, I can't remember every instance, but rarely have I seen you play striker. I'll change it to that.
Yeah.
And on that note, I would like to welcome everybody to episode 9 of Getting to Know. Today we're going to get to know Katrina. She is oops, I have this on the, oh yeah, she's been a member of the club since around 2017. She's played with us on 10 teams. She's got 77 appearances over that time. Actually, Katrina has one of the most consistent appearances in all of the club since she's began. I think you almost have 100% attendance rate in all the teams that we've played on together so far, which is a rare achievement considering that you've played on 10 teams. So kudos to you.
I tried my very best to be there because I know people depend on me showing up. So
Yeah, that's a really good, great attitude to have. Ben, I think the most notable thing about you, besides being a part of the famous sisters that everybody recognizes in Footy Sevens, is your, how can I put this? The sweets that you bring to the field and that you share only very rarely with our Monday team, and it's become a point of contention with some of us. The
Well,
jealousy.
when this thing starts up again and you start the Monday team up again, I plan to make something special for the first game.
There we go. Something else to look forward to. That's amazing.
But hey, with less classes until I get a job, maybe I'll bake more. We'll see.
Yeah, actually, we were just talking about that before we got started here. You just finished schooling, so you're now ready to go.
Mhm. I am. I finished a program called Child and Youth Care. So that
Nice.
was an interesting 3 years, learning a bunch of different things and doing placements. So kept very busy.
What made you want to go into that?
Um, I've been working with kids since I was 12,
Okay.
so I've always just loved working with children. So it's just something that makes me happy.
Okay, that's really cool. Nathan Pacheco also used to work with kids when a few years ago. So that's something you guys have in common. I don't know if you knew that, but I think you
Um,
really enjoyed it.
he might have mentioned it once or twice. I just don't recall.
So that's really neat though. Congratulations on graduating. I know
Thank you.
that's a big achievement in any person's life. So that's huge. And like you were saying that they're still planning on hopefully having an in-person ceremony, right?
Yes,
Okay.
just in the future.
In the question mark future.
Yeah.
There was someone shared with me today a 5-point plan that Ontario has for phasing us back into real life.
Hmm.
And it was obviously kind of like fake because Ontario hasn't announced a 5-point phase plan. And I
Yeah.
was actually telling this to some of my workmates who are from Ireland, and they're like, Seb, this plan is the Irish 5-point plan. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is Ontario. I'm like, so this guy just stole the Irish plan and said that this is Ontario. So that was really funny. But
Maybe he's hoping that it will encourage people to get the government moving.
maybe, but according to that 5-point plan, we won't be back until middle of August. So I'm hoping.
That's a terrible plan. I would like to start soccer before then. I am missing all you guys, and I'm missing soccer. So
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to feel the withdrawals now that the weather is starting to get sunnier. Like the days are starting to get longer. But I guess my first question, my first like interview style question here is like, how have you been keeping busy with all of the lack of soccer?
so I've been going on walks with my dad, trying to do about an hour walk. Sometimes in the early around lunchtime, try and go for a walk or a bike ride with my nephews and their mom, just to try and keep them busy too, or
Yeah.
making sure that they're getting out in the backyard. Um, when it first started, I was finishing up school, doing assignments and exams, and now I'm trying to read and get back into drawing. Maybe I'll start trying to write again. We'll see.
Yeah, I see a couple of the drawings behind you there. Did you do those up?
I did.
Oh,
These are from high school, but yeah,
okay. They're pretty good. Congrats.
thanks. They were a lot of fun to do.
Pardon?
It was a lot of fun doing those, especially like this one.
You're
Um,
right. Oh, here we
I
go.
was like, this is I call him my old man, and it was because we had to find a black and white image online, and then we printed it off, and then we had to sketch it onto this black piece, and then we had to carve it out into a rubber, and then
Okay.
we would make screen prints on paper. So
Mm,
that's what
mm,
like,
mm.
that one is a screen print of the one I just showed you. So
That's pretty neat. Like I am just awful at anything to do with like arts or crafts. Like I'm a wordsmith. That's where my strengths lie. So it's always very impressive to me when I see people, you know, conjure up these terrific paintings and drawings. So that's really impressive.
well, thanks.
the I guess Is that something, now that school's over and you're going to have more time to focus on reading, maybe spending more time with your family and drawing, would you say that that's like a good thing to come out of this for you? Or is there something else that comes to mind? Like, what positive outcome do you see from this whole situation?
Um, Definitely getting more time with my nephews now that I don't have to do so much school or any school now. Um, I've been spending more time with my dad, and yeah, starting to draw again.
Okay.
It's relaxing, and it's something I enjoy, which is something I stopped doing during school for the most part. So it's fun to get back into that and try to make it a habit again.
Okay.
And one thing that's probably not interesting to you, but I get to grow my nails out now. Because as a keeper, I always keep them cut short.
You, I, that's something I've never considered. That would be a challenge for a female goalie. So that's actually really interesting. I'd never thought about that.
Well, I made a mistake in not cutting them once, and the ball hit directly like on my finger somehow, and it caused it to bleed. So I'm always careful to make sure I keep them short.
Okay. So you're, I'm starting to see that you're prone to these interesting accidents that happen on the field. I'm thinking also about how you destroyed Orrin's hand and ruined him for a season and a half. He's
That's
still
his
recovering.
fault. That is his fault
How is it his fault?
because he got behind the attacking player who had a breakaway. So when it's just me and the player, I come out of my net and challenge because it's a 50-50 shot anyways. But then suddenly Orrin had a burst of speed and came around the defender into me.
How dare you throw Orrin under the bus like that? He sacrificed his hand for the team, and
Having this discussion for a while now, so it's okay.
he's still recovering. I'm pretty sure he's still recovering. It's affected his Fortnite skills for sure.
Well, I'm sure JB and Nathan will agree that it's his fault. He's having this conversation every time I've seen him, so.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing the conclusion of that when we return and he finally gets to play again.
Oh, maybe we'll just say it's both our faults.
Let's move on to a different question then. This is very thorny. What is what's your first memory with us with the club?
Actually, my first memories of you.
Okay.
When I was finally starting to get onto my sister's team, all I hear was this guy yelling at his team. I think it was a team with Josh and Tony, GM or something like that.
MGD, yes, the original Sunday co-ed team. Yep,
So
yep.
I would hear you yelling at these players, and I don't know, there was just something about it. It seemed fun. And then when you asked Amy to play, and she said no, I was like, I'll play. And you said yes, and it was like the best thing ever.
Okay.
And then the next memory I have is just of Jamie and Nathan, because they're the first two I met on the team. And like one of the first things Nathan said to me was, "I'm the headband guy."
Nathan said, "I'm the
bandana
headband."
guy.
Yes, yeah. I think he's really embraced the headband identity. I don't know if you noticed, but in his interview, he wore the headband, and he's just like, that's how people recognize me. So that's really nice. The other thing that I want to pick apart here is the recurring theme of everybody's first memory generally seems to be me yelling, but you're the first person to spin that as a positive. I don't know if other people on MGD thought it was a fun experience for me to be yelling at them constantly, but it's an interesting take.
Well, see, like, I don't know. I did air cadets as a kid growing up, and
Oh,
there's like a difference between yelling. There's like authority yelling, the commanding yelling, or like just go out and do it. Like I didn't hear it as like a criticism when I heard yelling. It was kind of like a we can do this kind of thing. Just go do it.
I didn't know. I didn't know you were in the Air Cadets. When were you in the Air Cadets?
For about the age of 12 to 17, so about 5 years.
What made you get into it?
Lisa was in it. So I was like, I want to do what Lisa's doing.
That's
And
really cool.
yeah.
So Does the cadet program? I know nothing about the cadet program. Does that stop at 17?
18. I left early because my squadron had changed command, like officers, so it didn't feel the same anymore. This officer who took over showed a lot of favoritism towards particular cadets, and like promoted some people when they should have been over other people. Like a couple of my friends left and got promoted instantly in other squadrons. So the environment changed.
That's always awful to hear. Like that affects everything everywhere, right? Like a change in command and the spirit kind of gets taken away. So that's a real bummer. What's like your favorite experience? Like I'm very interested in this. Like what's your favorite experience with the Air Cadets?
Biathlon. I did about 2 years of biathlon with Air Cadets. It was just a great experience with all the skiing and learning how to shoot a rifle. It was a lot of fun. And
Wait, what? Excuse me. What were the two events in the biathlon?
biathlon art in the winter we did skiing and shooting. So you ski a lap, you shoot, you ski a lap, you shoot. And then in the summertime we just trained. We would run and shoot. So
So
like during the period it helped to strengthen my lungs, my asthma got better. So it was a good time.
wait a minute. You know how to shoot a rifle? That's what I'm taking away from here. You're starting
Yeah.
to become a lot more dangerous than you appear.
I wouldn't shoot anybody, just targets.
Oh, yeah. It's just targets, no big deal. That's actually very interesting. I would never have pegged you as someone who knew how to handle a rifle.
I can use an air rifle and I can use a real rifle. I believe it was a 22 something. So not that I really know what that means or
I know less than you do about this, so that's very impressive. Very interesting that you were in the Air Cadets and that you did skiing and shooting. So are you a big cross country or downhill then?
I like both. They both have their benefits. Cross country, like I think it builds your muscles more because you actually have to ski yourself up the hill and then you go down it. Like we're downhill, you gotta sit on a nice ski lift. They take you up the hill and then you go down. And there are no trees to like try and avoid or like they keep like cross country. We had some really icy spots in some areas, so you also have to know how to like stay in control better of your skis. I find because like downhill, if you go to like Camp Fortune or somewhere, they keep their hills pretty well covered and well cared for
Sometimes,
the most part.
sometimes. But yeah, I see
For
what
the
you're
most part, yeah.
saying. Okay, I see what you're saying. That's interesting. I'm still trying to get over the fact that you know how to shoot a rifle. I'm a little terrified now. So I think I'm just gonna like try to move this along to some fun questions. 'Cause what's I've started to ask a few different questions here, so not the prison or the war questions, because people, a lot of people's answers, while appreciated, were about me, and I was kind of feeling a little sad about all the negativity that was being thrown my way. So I'm asking you a different question now, debuting a new question. Let's suppose you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You're on the $1 million question. You have one lifeline left. The lifeline is a phone call. Who do you call?
So this one wasn't a very hard question for me. I would have to call Amy.
Amy?
She's probably the smartest person I know,
Wow.
and you can't send this video to her. She's one of the people. I give her a hard time almost daily on a daily basis, but she's someone I do respect a lot, and she's someone I think is very intelligent. So I think she would be the one I would call.
That's a really touching answer, and I'm noticing that there's a recurring theme here of you looking up to your older sisters. So that's really neat. Do you hope that Rachel looks up to you in the same way that you look up to Amy and Lisa?
It would be nice, but she's taller, so I have to look up to her.
Oh, that's true. For those of you at home, the four sisters are, I think, in order of oldest to youngest, are Lisa, Amy,
No.
Kat.
Amy, Lisa.
Ooh, that's a plot twist. Amy, Lisa, Kat, and then Rachel. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's a plot twist. I always thought Lisa was the eldest for some reason. Nothing in particular struck me.
And
Uh,
no, there's a distance between them. There's two boys between those two.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good context and a good answer to the question. I like it. Keep it within the family. And now I wonder if you're going to have the same answer for this. Which club member would you pick to go on the amazing race with you?
So I did think about this, and I had thought about Amy because she also has a good sense of direction. But then after listening to like um, Nathan's video at the board, he sounded like a really intelligent guy too, and like sounds like somebody who would just be able to like get an answer. And like, he's also really fast. So if we were in a race, why not have somebody fast? Like,
Very smart. So, uh, the board would be your reply. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
That would be a very, very interesting combination. DuBoard and Cat on the Amazing Race. I wonder what the team name would be.
Uh, what if he wanted? But
That's neat. But I'm glad that you're tuning into the videos, and also glad to hear that that's allowing you to get to know different people. That's kind of the point. So it's neat to see that kind of influenced your answer here. And I'm going to move into this next one, which is, to you, who is the most hilarious club member?
probably the same as most people, Jamie and Nathan. Again, like they're the first two I met, and like they made me feel really comfortable on the team with all their laughing and their joking, because I don't normally play well on a team when I first meet somebody because I just don't play well with strangers. But
Right.
they just help to make me feel comfortable, and they're just always laughing and joking, so it's just easy to get along with them.
That's yeah, that's like the fifth one for them. But I just want to point out that you left out Orrin, and Orrin and Mike usually get
Did not
included.
meet Orrin right away.
Pardon?
Orrin was not one of the first people I met right away. He like
Okay.
because it was Jamie and Nathan when I first met them, and then Orrin came after. But Orrin does have like he has this dry sarcasm, so he is pretty funny when I pick it up. Because another thing you might not know about me is I really don't get humor very well, which Amy will tell you. It frustrates her. So
Okay.
with Jamie and Nathan, I can understand their humor better
Hmm.
because it's a little easier for me to understand. But because Amy will try to make jokes, and I'm just staring at her, wondering what's so funny about it.
Okay. Okay. That I did not know that, but it does help to put into perspective sometimes when you have like this blank reaction and we're just like, sometimes we think sometimes our perception is that you just found it offensive or just didn't find it funny. So we're just like, okay.
I mean, sometimes Jamie's jokes are a little much, but no, it's usually because I probably just didn't understand it because I don't get humor very easily.
Okay. Fair enough. And on that note, it's been very interesting getting to know you a little bit more, especially now knowing that if we were to go to war, you would be one of the people I would have on the front line to kill, as you have a rifle experience. So that's very
No,
interesting to know.
you would be on my team because you have this personality where people are like, I don't want to go against this guy, so that I wouldn't have to shoot anybody.
We'll see.
You have a very
Let's
leadership.
hope we never go to war, so we never find out. But on this particular moment, what's going to happen is we are going to go into Bevo's 10 questions, and that's when Tring comes up. And these are rapid fire questions, 10 questions. Just kind of answer with the thought that comes into your mind. So we're going to start with, what is your favorite word?
History. I've every time you've asked this question, history is what comes to my mind. So,
Very cool. What is your least favorite word?
anything that involves slang. I think we just have such a great English language, and I don't see why people use slang so much when we could just use full words.
That's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. I would agree. Sometimes there's a time and a place to avoid slang and just kind of, use the full beauty of the English language. But at the same time, I also feel like there's a time and a place to use slang and just kind of riff off. It's part of the riffing.
Yeah.
Uh, let's ask, what turns you on emotionally, spiritually, or sexually?
So, uh, working with kids really fills me with energy. So I would say that's what turns me on.
Okay.
Like when I was working and taking care of somebody else's child, and I'd be tired at the end of the day, and I would go volunteer. I just feel like a fresh burst of energy knowing I'm going to go see kids that I would see on a weekly basis in a volunteer situation. So working with kids is what I would say emotionally turns me on.
Hmm. Very neat. It's good that you found your passion so young. Like some people are still working their way through trying to find that. So it's really always really good when people find that at a young age. So great on you. And now I'm very interested to hear what turns you off emotionally, spiritually, or sexually.
Arguments. It's I don't like when people argue. Like when arguing where to the point it sounds like they hate each other, not arguing where they're talking about something
Hmm.
and they're trying to just have like a conversation in like loud voices, but like when they're arguing and it sounds like they're ready to tear each other apart, that's what I don't like.
Okay. What sound or noise do you love?
I love when my nephews call me because it's Aunt Tina, or Aunt Cats. So
Very cute. Very cute. What sound or noise do you hate?
um, I think really loud noises, like just anything like a really loud annoying sound noise. So
Said by the person who shoots a rifle. Okay, perfect. Uh, what is this? This is the question for you. What is your favorite curse word?
I thought really long and hard on this one, and I think it would have to be none.
Oh, this is the first answer that I reject. I'm sorry, Kat, but I have to reject this
You
response.
have to accept it. I don't swear.
Everybody has a favorite swear word, and yours is buried somewhere in there. But fair enough. You don't want to share it on a public forum. That's
I
fine.
don't swear. Think of one time you can recall me ever saying a swear word.
You know what? There have been people that I have not heard swear, but they still have a favorite swear word. Chris Golay, for example, is a person that I've never heard swear. He still was able to think of one fairly quickly. But uh, this is a cop out, Kat. I want you to know that this is a cop out response, and I'm gonna move along. But this is the first reply in 9 interviews that I reject. Um, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
So I always thought that if working with kids didn't work out, I'd want to do something history related.
Okay. So like archaeology, a la Indiana
I'm
Jones
not quite
style?
sure, but maybe teaching history to like grade 12, grade 6, or I don't know. But like if working with children hadn't worked out, I would have wanted to do something history related.
Okay. Very neat. What profession would you never want to try?
Mm, I think being a doctor, it's such a big responsibility on someone's shoulders. Like if
Mm,
especially like if you're in the surgery field, like if I'd done this, maybe the person would still be here. If I'd done something different, or like it's such a big responsibility. I don't think I would want to have that.
okay. Interesting. We've now arrived to the final question. Let's assume that heaven exists. What would you want God to say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Um, I would I would like to know that I had made a difference in at least one of the kids' lives that I've worked with.
Very, very on theme, very touching. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure the answer would be yes. So, but thank you so much for sharing all of your responses, minus the one where you copped out.
That was true. I don't have a favorite swear word.
I'm still not convinced of that, but you did provide some very interesting insight, and you shared some personal stuff, which I always appreciate when people do that. So thank you very much for participating on this with us. And to everybody else at home, thank you for taking the time to get to know Kat. Uh, and that's it for us here. Until the next time, adios.
So you skill up, you shoot, you skill up, you shoot.
Wait a minute. You know how to shoot a rifle? That's what I'm taking away from here. You're starting
Yeah.
to become a lot more dangerous than you appear.